Yeah, and I mean now it strongly dissuades Mu from wanting to play this Tidehunter in the offlane. We've seen this TA become one of the best heroes, of course. We always talk about that meld, and it just hurts. It's just miserable to play against. It's something that, although the wind is pretty good at dealing with because you do have that evasion, the Tide just ends up eating absolutely everything. And while I have done this before, Disruptor TA, it's also just heroes that have a slight bit of synergy where you put the traps down in lane, you have that vision for glimpse back onto those heroes that are trying to run away from you when they know when you get set up. I think now for Zoomers, they might look at some more of their heroes and say, what can we get that's going to allow us to travel into tier territory? Do we need something that's going to be a little bit sneakier here? Do we need heroes like the Abaddon where we have those dispels? Do they try to pick up a save versus the Doom? Something that D2 did in their series where there was a Doom twice is they just got Divine Undying. And then suddenly this Doom just never is able to finish off these kills. But
There's the
it's for
Chen.
Zoomers. You talk about the Chen and Enchantress, and they just pick Chen's Fen. Okay, well, there's your answer. There's your little bit of save. And in addition to that, the creeps are so obnoxious for heroes like the Disruptor to deal with. Of course, you did pick Chen into Doom.
Yeah,
Devour is,
and
he's gonna
TA.
kill your creeps,
TA just cleaves
but
right through them.
at the very least, you're trying to make the lives of the supports on the lava side just that little bit more difficult. It's what I think Husky does so well. In addition to that, Husky being the first chins, I think to really flex it right alongside Dubu, you're going to have someone who's always able to stack. We might even see him start sending those creeps to stack for Costa Bile, what, almost level 2 or 3. But Timber,
It's a
that is a
good
much different
flank hero
direction.
here.
So yeah,
So it's
Leo
going to be the
style,
mid Doom then, most likely, and then the
yeah.
safe lane TA. I'd have to imagine that's what they're going for here. So we're going to probably see the ban out of the 4 positions. It has to be, I'd imagine, at this point. Really solid Timber pick, though.
Yeah, there's really no one who can kill him at this stage of the game. Of course, Sven can kill him, especially if he catches him without the stacks. And bans are interesting. Are they saying that this could be a Moose or an MJZ Doom? I know
Yeah,
MJZ likes his melee heroes, but maybe that definitely feels a little bit strange. I feel like you're gonna want to pair the Disruptor and the TA together, but I guess Moose has shown him playing Disruptor a few times in the tournament. But I guess Lava are gonna have to keep us guessing because they do have ultimate last pick.
yeah. And I really like the Viper ban. This is something I was thinking about in the last phase, like before they picked the Sven Chen, that they could go for the Viper here. On Zoomers, hindsight 2020 would have been fantastic against the Timbersaw, but you didn't quite know. And then they also ban out the Leshrek. So they could be saving last pick here for Lava and Phantom Lancer, not great into the Sven. So, or the Tidehunter really from the safe lane if they really want to take the mid TA, run the Doom support. But it's going to be last pick here for Gunner. Ember Spirit's still an option.
Yeah, Ember's in there. He's the most obvious. Storm is in there.
Oh, dang.
Okay, that's a gunner hero. Well, that's very different. I mean, that's your save now for the Doom. Of
Yeah.
course, if the Doom target is now going to be that Pugna, but that's where he has to keep getting brought back from the Disruptor. When you pick up the TA Timbersaw in that second phase, all of that pressure is going to be on the Disruptor, especially if it ends up being Disruptor Doom as your two supports. Glimpses everything for Lava. They're going to want to start these fights where opponents are running away from them, and if they're ever playing from behind, Lava have one of the worst lineups, I think, from behind that I've ever seen. If four Zoomers really stick to their guns and get them on that back foot, there are not that many comeback mechanisms. Everything's going to be about playing around the stacks, playing around really your level timings. And aside from that, I think four Zoomers, this is such a four Zoomers draft. They're just going to try and tempo you around. And it's not the Lesh. Lesh would have been great here, but that Pugna fills that same role where suddenly there's a Tidehunter in front of your Pugna pushing your mid tower at 10 minutes into the game. And are Lava going to be ready for those fights? I don't know. I honestly can't say because I don't really think they have those tools. Four Zoomers really got this incredible, I think, 10, 15-minute timing where Lava definitely don't want that fight.
Can you go for the Storm Spirit here, or is that not? Is that too? I feel like Storm Spirit is not bad. It's decent enough at getting on top of the Pugna, but okay. So they
Okay.
end up going back for the support. So it is going to be most likely the mid lane Doom here. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So this
Okay.
this makes a lot of sense. This is a sick Knicks game as well. So I like this decision.
Yeah, and we'll have to see. Of course, Leosau is now just planning to draw that mid lane. This lane you get bullied on if you're the Doom. Gunner is just going to be able to do whatever he wants. at the very least, the Nyx assassin can come mid every once in a while, and you're playing Nyx versus Pugna. That is a pretty ideal situation for you. Anytime Gunner is going to be up in front of those towers, you're going to need to see the rest of four Zoomers come up with him, because if he goes on too many solo adventures, it's so easy for Lava to set up. Aside from that, though, I think we're really going to need to see another big game from Frank. I think he needs to win his lane. He needs to force Costabile out early, and then we need to see him really be on the aggressive. Otherwise, we're going to end up in that awkward timing where I think Lava are going to lose a lot of that space to this early Pugna, and then you don't have that much to work with because you've got mid Doom and you've got safe lane TA. Your playmakers are really kind of few and far between, especially once that Doom timing gets involved. You can only imagine four Zoomers are going to immediately press their advantage if that ever gets committed. It just feels like there's going to be that constant run at you from 4Z.
Yeah, it really does. It's going to be an interesting game here. Again, for those of you who are just tuning in, it is four Zoomers versus Lava. Game number 2, as four Zoomers had a fantastic performance in game 1. Second series today, and Lava will be going up against Simply 2 Based, I believe, next. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Simply 2 Based to round out the night in our third and final series. So, still got a lot of Dota to be played. Halfway through the day, officially. GLHF comes in from Moose. What a nice guy. A great Nyx assassin player for those that remember.
Yeah, and this hero, it's sad to see him get pushed back all the time, but he really is obnoxious. It's such an annoying hero to play against when it is that good. All of his stuns got nerfed, of course, was the big change in addition to his HP regen getting slightly nerfed, so you can't go for that creep pool nearly as nicely as you previously were able to do with this Boots First, but it's where I wonder how they're going to play this lane. Of course, Nyx is a hero that really doesn't need a lot, so I can only imagine he's going to be in Gunner's face as much as he can, but you also need to give that XP over to Frank. You can't play on those slower timings. This lane is really just going to be the Nyx assassin trying to get as much as he can with the scraps.
MJZ's going for an aggressive sentry placement there, but they did scout him with the ward. And he is in a really bad spot. With the gush, the physical damage coming in, they want to give this first blood over to Gunner, and they do.
Okay. Sentry? Yep.
There it is, the D ward. Or rather, the unblock, not really a D ward.
Yeah, and are they going to go? I mean,
they're
they
trying for all 4.
Well, let's see it. Husky. There is an impale, so he will give that one up. But yeah, I think that's 3. Nicely played. Just Costabile knowing that he can kind of chat up on the rune. But not just that, they're defending their jungle so well right now. Of course, Husky has that sentry, but it's going to be up to Moose to actually get this double block on the camps. It's the perfect way to start off this lane for him. Wow, even pre-places the small camp ward. See if that ends up being a regret for Husky, but has the Holy Persuasion.
He drops the sentry up on the high ground, tries to find their ward, just misses.
Oh, that's a big whiff. Okay.
He ends up just taking the range creep. They want to shove the lane.
Yeah, it's also so obnoxious for Frank. Fortunately for him, he did just immediately skill up that reactive armor and has the wave pulling back already. But now, what do you do if you're this Nyx assassin? This is so much harass coming out. He's going to probably tactfully look for some creep pulls if he can manage it. But okay, there's the second sentry. There you go. But he doesn't get the block on the large.
Yeah, you will get the body block there on the small camp, but hey, you're right. Can't block the large. And Chen is going to continue walking around here with his little strong range creep. Top lane, we've got Moo on this Tide Hunter combined with the Wind Ranger. They're going up against Kataro's Templar Assassin and the Disruptor. Now, we saw this TA already do some work against the Tide Hunter in lane before. It's pretty solid. And then mid lane, we've got Doom versus Pugna. You know, not a traditional matchup, I'd say.
Oh, and one that honestly doesn't really matter. Of course, Gunner does need to be careful whenever Leostyle does commit that Scorched Earth, but the beautiful thing about Pugna is if Leostyle ever drags that creep wave over to the small camp, Gunner's just going to throw a Nether Blast in there and probably steal a lot of your CS, but... Oh, top. Gush.
MJZ. Oh, gets the Fairy Fire off. He does have a Wind Run, but... It's not wanting to risk going under the tower there. But yeah, they're both super low. He's got another Gush.
Cool.
Shackle, no, what a shackle onto Kataro. The meld, not available.
Ooh. Z-Freak, man. Gotta be scared of him. You gotta be so careful here as well, because they need the courier from MJZ.
Yeah,
They're out of resources.
Yeah.
I mean, Z-Freak, also just so efficient. It's the reason they go for this win. It's so easy for him to make these trades, because they really can't do anything versus him. All the damage is going to end up on the Tide, but once Moo gets that Ring of Health, if he goes for it, you are out of the danger zone, as we always see with this Tide Hunter.
Gunnar just doing Pugna things. You know, if the wave's going to be at the tower, he's just going to chip your tower over and over. Nyx is here looking for a wraparound with this Impale, and you have Speed Aura now. Trying to get aggressive here onto the Pugna. Able to eat a tree for a moment. The Impale comes out, and you were right. That Scorched Earth, it is so much damage. Pops the Fairy Fire. But looks like he will survive. I'll play by Gunnar. Pops one more bottle charge, but I don't think you're going to make it to your bounty rune this time.
No, and this is exactly what he needs to do. Just try and shut down the Pugna as much as you can. This gives all the soul XP over to Frank. Just perfectly played from Moose. Maybe hazard to say if he has the mana burn, that kill looks even closer, but it's also just really well timed. It's one of the few instances where I think
Husky
Gunnar
just sniped his courier.
Oh,
with a ranged
yeah.
creep. That's
Well,
pretty good. It was sitting at the
not a
secret shop
clue.
waiting for that ring of health, and he just guessed. He just ran to the secret shop and got the kill.
And we'll have to see how Frank decides to itemize, whether or not that Ring of Health is going to be for the Vanguard or if he's just going to go for the Hood, because, of course, there's a Pugna in the game who is
Mid lane.
eventually going to come over to you, but yeah.
They're just continuing the
getting
aggression
annoying.
here. Yeah. And Gunnar not getting those 4-minute runes either. I mean, they're just dual laning him mid at this point, not letting him get this tower pressure, and Gunnar, he's just going to have to walk base.
Yeah, there's nothing he can do. And at the same time, you're not losing your Timber Saw lane. This Timber pick just feels so efficient, and he's getting slowed up bottom, but at the same time, nothing's really happening. He's just getting his XP, he's getting his levels, he's already eclipsed Kostabile down here, so if without any rotation from Z-Freak, and he's going for the rotation, but Moose is just here to block him out of his game. I think Lava are getting exactly what they want out of these early stages.
Yeah, these lanes are going really well. Doom just top of the CS chart with, you know, Devour is just so much gold. And bottom lane, Frank, like you said, he just can run it Kostabile. There's not a lot you can do. He's going to be able to push him out of the lane eventually. He's, you know, Husky's going to be the one that stays in the lane there trying to pull some XP, but for now, it's just all Timber Saw. Mid lane Gunner does get level 6 though, so Life Train is online. Got to be careful though, as Doom, you know, is going to be closing in on level 6 as well. And
well, here's the Nyx.
he actually forts the wave because he knows Doom doesn't have 6. This is actually so smart. Z-Freak comes in, Shackle not on the mark, but there it is. Doom gets dropped. Can he get the deny? He does. Z-Freak sticking around just in time. That was such a smart. There's so many like small little plays there that just made such a difference. But at the end of the day, you still managed to take down the Pugna, which is what you want. And they want to hold this catapult alive in the mid lane because they want Gunnar to be able to come back and push this.
Yep, they want him to come back. They know that there's no threat. The only person who can come defend this tower if Leo style gets hit up is going to be Frank. But as soon as that happens, then Kostabile has a free time bottom. So this mid lane, I mean, this is perfect now for Zoomers rotating. And what do you do if you're Leo style? You just have to kind of sit by and watch your tower die. I genuinely don't think he can do anything.
No.
Once this Mud Golem dies, he's going to get stunned up as well. And he's got to be so careful.
Yeah, first fort comes through. They have a Shackle into the Life Train. A lot of damage just dumped onto the Doom here. Does get saved. Nice stun comes in from the Nyx Assassin. Pugna falling a little bit low, but still going to be all right. Life Train out onto the TA. And that Devour will finally clean up that catapult in the mid lane. But it's a 4v3 in the mid lane, man. Kotaro really struggling to stay out of to get into this fight. Gunnar, I mean, the change of the Life Drain just makes it so this is basically always available, and they will take another creep, want to get this tower so dang bad, and with this next Nether Blast, he's gonna get it.
Ooh. I mean, it's just that easy.
Bottom lane, Kostabile. He gets level 6 on the Timber Saw. He's gonna try. He actually doesn't have a Timber Chain. He might be able to snipe him with the Chakram, but he is pretty dang far away. He gets him. Well played by Frank.
Oh my goodness. I don't even know if he has any business getting that. I think Kostabile turned because he wanted to get that Stormhammer, but man, that is really tight from Frank. But I was going to mention, they rotate the TA out of top lane to make that mid-tower defense just a little bit more difficult for 4 Zoomers, and it stops the TA's farming pattern, but Frank is the one snowballing in this game now for Lava, and if you keep it going, he's the one who's going to TP top in a sec here, but do they just give this away?
Well, looking, they will get the glimpse to... Who got glimpse? I actually have no idea, but either way, Disruptor in trouble. Body blocks from Z-Freak. They got plenty of damage to help finish this one off, and it is going to go the way of the Wind Ranger here, and this is the threat that Pugna has. Like he just takes towers. He takes so much of your map away, and Gunner 2 towers down by just before the 8-minute mark. And you've got a Timber Saw on the side of Lava. Like, this is normally what your Timber Saw wants to be doing.
Yeah, and it's just that Lava are stuck with the cards. You see that Frank lost his 5-minute timing because Costabile is still sticking in the lane at that point. But this bottom tower, he's doing a good job of trying to make it die as fast as he can, but he needs creeps. He simply can't do it alone, and unfortunately that's where Kataro can't even show up to make those fights just happen a little bit faster. He wants to focus on his own game, and this is where the space battle becomes a very big problem for Lava. If 4 Zoomers just have all this space and time to work with, then unfortunately your game looks very, very, very difficult, and that's where I think next Doom is going to be breakneck for Leo. If Leo doesn't find a kill, especially onto that Pugna, then the game is just going to get way more difficult going forward. Not to mention, Husky's coming up on level 6 and a mech, so I don't even know if this Doom is going to be successful if they get set up. Oh, Ravage?
Yeah, Ravage does come out onto the Timber Saw. I mean, this is not an easy kill. It's gonna have to come from Gunner. He's the only damage that can be dumped into the Timber Saw, but just gets sniped by the Nyx. Manages to find the first kill, Frank. He's running low on mana, and Gunner with the Nether Blast. The Life Drain isn't enough. Down to... I don't know. They just can't do it. Timber Saw is too tanky right now. That's a nice kill. They take down Costabile. All 3 net worth positions held by Lava at the very top, and it's by a pretty significant margin. It's really the supports are the only ones that are struggling, but the nice War Stomp onto the Doom. Gunner interrupted there with a beautiful stun by the Nyx. He's doing exactly what he can, but Doom, can he actually escape? He gets the Purge off. He's safe.
Z-Freak, does he try for it?
No. Good attempt, but not going to be there. And Leo Style, with this Midas Devour build, I mean, this guy is so farmed. 5,100 net worth already.
I mean, do they finally get their moment is the real question. There's no Ravage. Moo's gone for the Helm of the Dominator build, so he's not naturally as tanky. I mean, they got to get some of these waves out, but okay. Z-Freak just died.
Yeah,
he got hit up by the trap.
Yeah, nice kill there by the TA. Gunner will be able to keep Husky alive for the moment. Hasted Nyx Assassin being an absolute nuisance, and Tidehunter gonna get glimpsed back right into the middle of these 3 heroes. He's pretty tanky, but Static Storm is there trying to keep him alive here thanks to this Pugna, but ends up just getting doomed as they dive him on the back line instead, and the Purge just doing so much work. Gunner's gonna go down. 5 heroes from Lava as they find a big kill, and now finally turning their attention to this mid lane tower. Nyx Assassin, caught up for the moment, still has a Spike Carapace, though. I don't think he's in too much trouble.
Oh my goodness, Frank, he just does so much damage. And the cart's here. This is their exact moment. You see Husky, he's trying to cut the wave, but look at it. They're just able to refocus.
Yeah, as long as they can keep this cart alive, and Frank can take this forever. I mean, you have to have like a Ravage into the Life Drain combo there from the Pugna, but you just don't have the damage. You will protect that tier 1, but you lost the Pugna, and Lava continue to advance their gold lead here.
Yeah, and you have to wonder, when are we going to see Costabile? Is it going to be the blink? Is it going to be a little bit earlier than that? Of course, without these tier 1 towers up, it's easy for them to make those run at you plays, and Z-Freak looking for the angle, doesn't find it, but this is now for Zoomer's moment to start running at their opponents. They're the ones with the Ravage. Lava are the ones without any of their cooldowns. At the same time, though, I feel like there are these big obstacles that they're still struggling to overcome. Leo, though,
he's going to get found by Gunner. This is a big target if they can find the kill. He gets the Purge off. He's just going to wait for the next decrep in a second here. It's got to be Z-Freak that cancels the TP, though. Power Shot just off the mark. He actually has no mana to TP. But they're so far out of position now as Moose on the Nyx is here. He gets the double impale, and MJZ, he's ready to go, looking for the glimpse. He's caught Gunner stuck inside the Static Storm, and very, very easy pick off for them once that happens.
And really, they know that this is coming. They know that they have to find these kind of forward positions for the Pugna to play in, but that's Gunner's third death. You want to cease up just a little bit here. Otherwise, this Pugna is going to be a huge target. Then it's not like you have items like you get a BKB really cleanly on the Pugna. You don't really go for that item until maybe your second or third, and that's where they're really going to struggle to find these plays coming forward. That was their moment. They're going to
Pugna,
TP top
he's
here,
about
and
to
they
get
should
glimpsed.
flood.
Gunner's gone.
No.
Yeah, MJZ
And
just
now
sitting
what?
off on the side. Moo comes in, and now Z-Freak's the one that's in trouble. Husky is here to try and save him with the mech, but they got no damage at this fight now. Costa Bile still farming bottom, and your Pugna's in base.
Yeah, it's just such a sick glimpse. They get set up. They aren't able to move in on the Zoomer side. And it feels like they're just simply getting out-rotated right now. And I really think missing the kill on Leo Style is where everything got a little bit messier for them. But now it's the opposite is true. Lava are the ones taking away all of your map, and Zoomers are holding hands to get a little bit of that
Stun into the mid lane.
back.
He baited the
Oh,
Pugna.
no. Oh.
The Doom comes out. He just does not want to risk it at all, and Gunner goes down now for the 4th time.
Oh my goodness, it's just fantastic prioritization. They're just getting exactly who they know is going to break open the map. They know if they Doom or kill the Sven, that doesn't matter. If they can take out the Pugna, they don't have that same entrance onto these real objectives that Lava are just constantly going for. And at the same time, what are you trying to split push now in this game? Husky is doing what Husky does pretty much every time he's on this Chen, where he sends his creep waves to the lane they don't want to play in, but unfortunately, Kataro's just in here farming.
Yeah,
he's
just
gladly going to take these extra creeps.
He's just killing him. He's like, all right, yeah, thanks, guys. I'll have these. That's fine.
I mean, they want to find Kataro here. They know exactly where he is, and maybe they take moves instead, but it's just the kill that they don't want. They might get him with the body box here, but no. It's just so much coverage. They're playing so well around each other. Meanwhile, Frank is just bullying Costa Bile. Like, there are so many things going wrong for Zoomers.
Yeah, fantastic game already from the side of Lava, and Costa Bile, yeah, he's just going to farm up the wave, TP out. Knows he can't really have any business playing in the same lane as the Timbersaw. He's doing well on the net worth, though. He has recovered a little bit on this Sven. They actually smoke up as 3. I mean, they've got to get active. They have to kill this Timbersaw, but it's going to come from Pugna, right? Like, I don't see how you kill him with physical damage. Well, next Assassin's going to pop the smoke. They do end up just targeting him instead. The Ward Sentry ends up salvaging that smoke, but Costa Bile, God Strength was popped. He needs to farm up as fast as he can before that just goes to waste.
Yeah, and really, the big moment for Zoomers. Yeah, bottom. Wait a second. Kataro? Yeah.
Gunner's just dead. Yeah, he can't get away. The double trap just slowing him down. Now Leo Style looking for it, gets the Purge off onto the Wind Ranger. She does still have the Wind Run available, so not really in trouble.
But, I mean, the big moment for Zoomers is really going to be when Moo has this Blink Dagger. Because, unfortunately, for them, Lava just keep running away. They're just not giving them the fight. They're just walking out of these engagements, and unless Z-Freak is fighting in his own jungle, he's not finding a lot of these shackle targets just because there's no one really to shackle. Everyone is just playing a little bit too split up, and again, they want this kill into Kataro bottom. It's what Z-Freak and Gunner have been setting up for so long, but he just doesn't give it to them. He just keeps on playing defensively, even goes for the Blink Dagger first because he knows the entrance onto him is not looking good from the Zoomer side, so he's just able to dodge out a lot of these ganks. Meanwhile, Frank is just this immobile object in the top lane who is right next to your Sven, and you can't even think about killing him.
Yeah. They have God Strength in about 25 seconds, which is an opening for sure, but it's still not easy. Courier goes down, Frank losing the clarities. Not the end of the world.
Definitely not. And really, once this game starts to be about Roche, that's where I'm very concerned. Moo has the Blink Dagger. That's where, if they get the start onto Kitaro, they Blink Ravage him, they get on top of him with the Focus Fire, shackle him up. That's their reality to actually killing this TA. Let's just see if MJZ spoils the play here, because I think this might be the death that you love to tank on the Disruptor. It's something MJZ does so well. Yeah, they see Moo.
The Glimpse, just going to send Costa Bile back to the top lane, and they will get the Disruptor, but again, you protected Kataro with this placement. Sven might consider going for the Timber Saw as they rotate in onto Moo. This has got to be your play. You've got to finally get this guy. The Ravage comes out. The TP in from the entire 4 Zoomers squad. Frank, Shackle off the mark. Power shots there, but they do finally... Oh, the Dire. I thought he got denied for somehow, but the Dire does end up finding the kill. Nyx Assassin tanking the gank here so that his Doom can escape. So Zoomers finally punish this Timber Saw, and they actually go right into Roche. This is a really good call from them.
Yeah, it's a huge pick. I think they really prioritized and they knew how much damage they actually had and what they needed to kill this Timber Saw. And this is the most important Aegis to take away from your TA. That's what allows her to farm up a lot of those items that allow her to actually play the game. And unfortunately for Lava now, they're the ones who are playing versus the Aegis. They're playing versus the Aegis not only in a situation...
He's got the ults.
Oh, no.
Drops the kinetic field. A no follow-up. Doesn't want to drop the Static Storm quite yet. And Roshan, it goes down. Aegis goes the way of the Sven.
At least it's not on Pugna. At least it's not on Gunner. Then it might be a little bit more of a hairy situation. I'm surprised it's not a Gunner, actually, because Kostabile will have that BKB soon. But at the same time, Kostabile is becoming more of that win objective. This isn't the same Gunner Pugna where you have an Octarine core 16 minutes into the game, but
Z-Freak's
at
looking
the same
for
time...
Kataro. This is a huge catch if they can get him. The Decrep, the Shackle on the money, but he's gonna get saved. They pull him back into a 2-man Static Storm. Gunner, he doesn't have the Aegis. He's got to get out of here, but he's surrounded by 5. He's gonna go down, and of course the Doom onto the Chen as well. They pick up the 3 so easily. They just did not have the damage for Kataro there. He just stood his ground, turned it right around onto the Wind Ranger.
Yeah, and they have that ward that they placed a pretty long time ago. The reason they don't get the blank out on the TA is because he starts it off with the life drain, but unfortunately they don't have the Tide or the Sven in that situation. Of course, God Strength was already cooling down, so you didn't want to show up towards that fight, but that's where, I guess, even if he had the Aegis, he does just die a second time there, but it still feels pretty unfortunate because now you're looking at the big items that Lava are queuing up. You've got Kaiasange finished up on the Timber Saw. Of course, Kataro has his Deso. He's working towards that BKB. If there's any chance of getting a Nullifier in this game, Gunner is done. That is lights out for the Pugna. He's queuing up a BKB of his own because he knows he can't stand and do anything in this fight. It's where the Disruptor just feels so incredibly strong. I mean, they've already taken this bottom tier 2 tower, and it's control that 4 Zoomers now are the ones scrambling for, but with how bad the past 10 minutes have been for this Pugna, there's been no poke at this top tier 2 tower, I think, pretty much ever. I think that Lava are just playing with, again, that much more space.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it in the net worth, right? Like, Gunner has fallen off so heavily, and Pugna's not a hero that farms super fast. He needs to take objectives and enable your other heroes, but it's Lava, like you said, that has the map control. They smoke up as 4 here on the Zoomers. They've got the Ravage available. It's going to be Kostabile. He finds Frank, tanks a Stormhammer downtown, but there's a kinetic field right there to block him off. A ward dropped pretty much right away, but Smoke's not going to net them into anything as Leo Style pops the blink. He's going to survive. Kataro has his own. There is a gust, but Kataro's going to be just fine.
Second around, a little bit scary here, but they're not going to place another sentry on the cliff. They already have one on the low ground. Otherwise, maybe Kataro's in a little bit more danger, but okay.
Kostabile might be the one in danger. They have a Doom cooling down in just a few seconds here. Kostabile is going to scout him. Stormhammer is going to be dodged once again, but Leo Style wants to turn around. He's got the Purge if he can get in range. Glimpse to the outside. Moo ends up just ravaging instead. Kostabile pops the BKB. Ends up popping the ultimate as well, but he can't get his hands on anyone. Doom, he just walks away. MJZ, he will finally be able to take down with that BKB expiring. They could look to turn it their own way. Nyx Assassin here with this Yules. But doesn't look like they want to opt for it. They will just accept that you lost the Disruptor, fortify the tower just to slow them down a little bit. Meanwhile, mid lane, Frank still cutting waves.
Yeah, at the same time, Z-Freak was surging forward trying to find Kataro there. He didn't know that he was under a sentry,
Kostabile is in so deep. They managed to get the Gale Force back. Nyx is in no man's land, and Moo comes in. Huge amount of damage coming through from Frank, but Doom, he doesn't have the BKB. He just gets popped. Didn't want to drop the Doom on the Aegis Sven there, and Won't have it for a while as he has no buyback. Husky gonna catch a glimpse there. MJZ, no more way to cancel the TP though as he just walks his way home. Gunner getting chased down by Kataro, who did pop his BKB for this, and he's just gonna decrep TP home.
So many people are just keeping away from these fights. It really is exhibiting how little lockdown everyone has aside from the disruptor, when even then it is solely the disruptor, really, it feels like in this game. But at the same time, did you get enough with this Aegis is the question that 4Zoomers are asking themselves, because Costabile, he had to get dragged out of the jungle. He's gone for this halberd as well just to survive versus the TA a little bit longer, and that is a little bit concerning for me. I feel like you don't want your Sven to have to make that same decision. And we'll have to see how 4Zoomers play around once they have their Ravage up again. But I think bottom goes as poorly as it does just because Leo style kept on getting clipped by Husky's creeps. Husky is such a beast with the micro.
He really is. And you've got Tidehunter grabbing this gem now. Looks like the Z-Freak bonned, but a gem on the Tidehunter will help establish vision here, but it's also going to give them the knowledge to play around this Nyx assassin, so they know the smoke is here. Leo style jumps up and they will get vision on the Nyx. They end up catching him with that shackle right away, and Nyx goes down a big part of the fight, but they've also caught Gunner stuck inside the static storm. He's got a decrep in one, will be able to keep himself alive, but the life drain gets canceled and Dooms just says, nah man, I am guaranteeing this kill. Gets him. Now Frank in trouble, stuck next to this Sven, but gonna pop that bloodstone heal and he's gonna walk away. Husky just trying to give vision on over to Costabile, but the Timber Chain away. It looks like Lava is going to be able to get away with the kill onto the Pugna. You're going to lose both supports, though. Oh, no, MJZ survives.
That's so sick from MJZ. That's just a perfect kinetic field that he placed there to be able to survive. But
they got eyes on Kataro. Well,
yeah,
he gets a trap down, so he knows.
Yeah. It's just easy for him. Because, again, 4Zoomers don't have disables. They don't have stuns. And, okay, Husky stomps Frank there, but at the same time, they are full retreat without God Strength. Even though they have the Ravage, they know that this Fen is no longer a source of your damage, and even with the Pugna respawning, they're still terrified, especially around this outpost area that Lava have complete control over, and they keep maintaining control over as they keep dewarding 4Zoomers, even though they're the ones with the gem.
They do get a ward center on the backside of this tree line, which is really useful, but the Nyx assassin just always going to be providing so much knowledge to his team, and it is super annoying. The gem does help, but you don't always see this hero.
No, and I mean, now Lava are probably just going to sit around and farm up their items, because looking at Kataro, look at how close he is and how close he's going to be towards that nullifier, and once he has it, like we keep saying, that is the end game for you. Once you hit that point, Gunner needs to be so careful with his BKB usage. Hopefully he doesn't get any gold kind of stolen away from him, doesn't get forced into a bad buyback situation, but this nullifier is going to be alive, or could very possibly be alive for this next Roche fight. Ideally, it respawns in 42 seconds, and that favors 4Zoomers quite a bit here, but Lava just are continuously building up on their cores, and they're getting some very scary luxury items. Looking at both the Shivas and the Halberd on Frank, then your damage is going to feel very, very difficult to actually get through a lot of these heroes on the Lava side. I think 4Zoomers, they haven't really built up to have anyone just be the sole carry. We're not seeing Dagon on the Pugna, we're not seeing the Silver Edge built up quite as fast on Costabile, and Frank popped
Ravage comes out. They need to take down this Timbersaw if they have any chance of getting this fight open, and they do.
Perfect.
Leo style, able to run away for now. It looks like he is fast enough. He has a blink in a couple seconds, so he's gonna escape. You did commit a lot for this, so you gotta get something out of it, and it's gonna potentially be the mid tier 2 tower.
Yeah, no glyph for 22, so if they wanted to poke high ground, they definitely can, but I also think knowing Costabile, he's probably just gonna bail out pretty soon here, but the split push is already set up, and this Roach is the longest it could possibly be. Qatar's gonna have that nullify for the next fight, and you have to be so careful. You get caught off guard with that, then I think Gunner is just gonna die for free at the beginning of these fights.
Yeah. It's gonna be a difficult game for the Pugna here. I mean, again, the supports on Zoomers are wealthy, but it's the cores that you worry about. You know, Gunner and Moo are really struggling to keep up with the Doom Timbersaw here. It's all going to come down to Costabile on this Sven to see if he can actually, you know, out carry this Templar assassin. It is not easy, though.
Oh, and you would hope to have an item like the AC queued up. You'd be looking to get some more of those armor because without the Warcry, you are just sitting at 11+2. You are not nearly as tanky once this TA actually starts to beat into you. Not to mention that Warcry doesn't do very much versus the Nullifier, and Guitarro is 300 gold away, and they're already making moves. Zoomers, knowing they don't have the Ravage, actually have to bow out of their own triangle. Fortunately for them, they were able to farm some of it before they got kicked out. At the same time, though, they aren't making moves towards this mid wave. Husky is also doing a really good job of kind of pulling and cutting a lot of these creep waves with his creeps, but gets to a certain point where Lava are just able to freely hit this top tower, and there's no flood of TPs, there's no smoke rotation. They have to kind of value what Lava are putting down, but establishing this control before Roche. Oh, Frank
coming in pretty aggressively here. The Shackle comes through, but they found Gunner. It's going to be the next assassin, and in comes the Doom once again. Gunner can't go anywhere. Just absolutely surrounded. Great targeting from Moose once again as he helps find the most important kill of these engagements, and goes to be like under the cover of his Shadow Blade. Would love to get active, but it's so difficult. It's not a Silver Edge quite yet. He's going to go ahead and open up onto Frank. I don't think he has the burst damage. He does get the BKB off. He will now, but Kataro, he's on top of you. Moo has the Ravage, will be forced to use it here, connecting onto 4, but they don't have anything left in the tank. It's gonna be Lava as they just find kill after kill here. Kostabile, Invis, once again, trying to run down the lane, maybe go clear up some creeps, but he's just gonna have to TP top.
No, but he's keeping over where they were. Lava has the complete control. As soon as they see this Sven go all the way off to this top left corner, maybe after they seek out this kill into Z-Frick, unfortunately, still has that Purge creep, so the win run doesn't do very much. Yeah, he just dies, but Roche respawned in that timing. And Gunner, he had his BKB coming out on the courier. That's just such a sick play from Moose, finding him in those backlines. Unfortunately, you didn't have the front line coming in from Moo. It just got broken apart really just a little bit too fast and quick, because Zoomers wanted to take back their bottom outpost. That's the entire reason they were down there in the first place, but second Roche, it's just dead so quick. This is just a solo as well, so nobody else on Lava needs to keep up this pressure. They just are able to move in towards mid, where the next fight's going to be, but you don't have Ravage again. You had to use it almost defensively, and you got nothing in return.
They're actually going to put the Shard on Doom, which is interesting enough. Actually giving it the bone, like the old level death type of thing, and increasing the stun duration. I'm a little bit surprised because TA's Shard is so dang strong, but in the jungle, they managed to find the Chen, and Frank picks him off no problem, getting another Bloodstone charge. Looks like they are looking for Kostabile bottom. He knows this is coming. He doesn't have a TP for a few seconds. He's going to be able to clean up this wave and then instantly go hide out in the trees before TPing home.
Yeah, and Timbersaw, no Yules. He's the wrong target to actually cancel that TP, but at the same time, you are getting more and more concerned for Zoomers lineup here. I think now with this Nullifier as well from Kataro, anytime the supports show either of them, they are just going to get mopped up immediately. And if you don't want to reactively just blink Ravage to save one of your supports, then you're going to lose Mu or Z-Freak. And that's where I think Glyph forced out. Wow, that is a really fast Glyph. Okay.
Well, they've got the Thunderhide actually cutting mid lane, so there's not going to be another creep wave coming anytime soon. This is something that Mu has done really well on this Tidehunter, is just using this Helm of the Overlord, I mean Helm of the Dominator, but now the Helm of the Overlord creep to just cut waves over and over again. And now they have no way to get to the base. All the waves are gone. I mean, the waves are on Lava's side of the map almost.
Yeah, and that's where Zoomers as a team are just incredibly good. Z-Freak, he always makes a home in the enemy off lane unless they want to make a play like it looks like they're going for right now. They got to get some control. They got to place up wards. They got to place up vision. They're already kind of preempting this on the Lava side, having the Aegis carrier be here. Yeah, they don't want to break here. They're on the high ground.
In comes Moo. He gets the Ravage, but the BKB comes out from the Doom, and he's going to drop that bad boy right onto the Pugna. Sven trying to chop him down, but Gunner, he's dead. They will trade 2 for 1 so far, but you got Kataro with everything still available. It's so scary. Kostabile, Silver Edge in 1 second. He's going to turn around. No, Nyx with the nice spike. Carapace, the Nullifier comes out onto the Sven. He's got to be careful. Oh my gosh, these side blades, all of them hitting. And now Z-Freak, gonna be the next one to go down as Kataro just blinks out of the backside of the fight. And Lava, they just got so much damage, and Gunner just has no game at all.
At the very least, you got the Doom, you got the kill. I think Moo, Nice juke.
Oh my
Okay.
god, what a juke. This dude breaks ankles for a living. Still gets caught there by the Yules, and they even managed to find Husky on the other side of the map. Moo, I don't think dies here to... Well, Frank is pretty strong, but doesn't want to dive to tier 3.
No, and at the same time, if these BKBs keep on getting forced out as early as they are, that's where the nullifier is just the crippling item choice, and still really good with the creep cuts. It's a big reason why that tier 2 mid is still alive. It's just Moo doing everything he can to keep this wave here. It's kind of sad I saw Kataro actually deny creeps.
He's got another. He's got 2 waves. He's gonna bring him to
gonna keep
Costa
it alive?
Bile. He's like, hey buddy, you want some farm, dude?
Yep.
In comes Doom
Oh,
top.
no.
He doesn't have his ult though. Costa Bile just really wanted to get the tower. He's forced to BKB. He's gonna clean up the creeps real quick and head home. He's gonna finish off the tower here with the Thunderhide, right? It's dead.
Yeah.
11
Perfectly
HP.
timed. Perfectly timed. So nicely done there, but at the same time, the rest of Four Zoomers are trapped in their base. Only the creeps are able to actually get out here, and he did get another golem. He went all the way over to Lava side of the map to actually pick up another ancient creep here, but
This is
unfortunately,
Chen's.
it's not your dragon. Oh yeah, that is Chen.
That's Chen's.
Right.
He's got the Thunderhide over there, which I guess thinking about Doom, this thing just crushes the ancient creeps. Oh my goodness, this Infernal Blade. You can't get away.
Oh my goodness. It's just dead. More farm for the Doom. They're trying to cut waves still, but it finally meets. Aegis is gone in 55 seconds here, but with the Swift Blink, you got to be so careful with your response. Everyone needs to be here.
Yeah, you're going to wait on this Ravage for a few more seconds. Kataro, like you said, 48 seconds here on this Aegis. They don't want to commit onto the TA until that timer is about to come through. Gunnar getting a lot out of this so far. They do lose the tier 3, and it looks like they're going to back up for the moment on Lava. A very, very good performance here so far from Lava, but Zoomers, they're just grasping at straws. It seems like they can't really find anything.
No, and they still have to be really careful. If they give away this game, they just go down to the high ground a little bit too fast, and then suddenly we're looking just at GG. DD Rune here, we might see them smoke on it again. Yep. I mean, DDTA, can't ask for anything better than that, but
Aegis
Four
gonna
Zoomers
get
need to be
popped.
so cautious. Yeah, Aegis is gone.
I don't think you mind all that much with that DD rune. You're just trying to wait for someone from the Zoomers to walk out into this triangle. I think they know that this is where they are. Yeah, they are circling. They're like, guys, they've got to be here, right? Like, no one's bottom, no one's top. Where else would they be?
Yeah, unfortunately, to try and bait their opponents here, and Moo and Z-Freak.
They have a gem still? They do on Z-Freak.
Yeah, the creeps. It's a really nicely played from them. They send the creep up just to kind of poke and prod there. There's maybe a small opportunity for Moose to look for a slight impale, but at the same time, the farm is ceasing. Everything is coming to a standstill because Four Zoomers are so scared of leaving the base, and they're smoking out towards the outpost. This is a position where if they find Leo style first, they can definitely chain stun him to death here. Is he going to react appropriately, though? And that's the question. As soon as they see anybody not reacting towards that mid wave, they're going to know something is up, though. And unfortunately for Four Zoomers, this is timed so well with the carts. There is a creep here to hold it, but they're going to feel like something's wrong here pretty soon.
Who's going to start cutting waves again as he grabs himself a Black Dragon. But you're right, you know, they got to be able to deal with this mid Raxus. Kataro just walks right on up, and they do have the Fortify. The DD rune comes out. They just give it up.
Well,
and you know, they will be losing all their waves. If they can clean up this mid one, they can protect backdoor protection, but there's double siege here. It's going to take a while. This bottom Rax is still exposed. But it looks like they just back off once again here on Lava. They'd rather go find the rest of the Four Zoomers lineup. That was a full refresher?
yeah, that was Leo style. So no double doom. I think Leo... They did give away exactly where everyone was playing, though. They know the Sven is in the triangle. If they catch him right now,
Style goes in.
isolated, hunting.
He pops the BKB, the dust comes down, they find the Sven, and Nick's Assassin's gonna be here to help offer some assistance, but I don't even know if he needs it. He's just dead on the Sven, just a drive-by from Frank and Moo. All alone here, up on the, up under the ward spot here. He can't really do anything either. They're gonna grab themselves a quick 2 kills here on Lava. Without buyback on Costa Bile, it's looking really rough.
Yeah, but no waves. That's the name of the game. Unfortunately, and I
They
think
got another
there we
wave cut
go.
mid too.
Yeah, Husky's just got to do this nicely, and then it's going to be held up for a very, very long time. Unfortunately, one of the worst creeps to possibly do this, just having the hill troll. So everything is going to come back, but there he dies, just on the high ground, just a little bit too fast of a reaction. Oh, they're going for the end.
It's not
Okay,
going to be
they need a
easy.
creep. They need creeps.
They do. Mid lane, it's coming, but it's going to take about another 20 seconds to get here. It's all just time for Costabile to come back off cooldown as well as Moo. When you Ravage, a big part of the fight, but thanks to the courier kill, you know there's no second Doom coming out here from Leo Style. I don't know if it really even matters, as they're going to jump right onto the Pugna. He's forced to BKB instantly.
Unfortunately, now you can't show up. You can't show your face on this Pugna for a very, very long time. They almost trade Glyph and BKB just to defend their tower for a little bit here, but that's where once this fight now is going to move over towards that pit. Roche is up, and they don't have a trap in there, so they're not going to scout it immediately on the lava side, but I can't imagine 4 Zoomers winning if they don't get this next Aegis. They need that buffer to play versus the Doom. Of course, he's got 2 of them once this courier gets delivered over to Leo Style, but is that an Ags? Yeah, it's an Ags on the Roche. I mean,
I was going to say give it to MJZ, but he already has one of the best Aghanim Scepters in the game. Already on the Disruptor, and my guess is either Kataro or Doom here at this point. Probably just the Doom, since you have the Refresher. But
yeah. Here we go.
This Roche going to go down incredibly fast.
I mean, they got to come now. They're looking at it.
It's not going to be in time. Kataro, he's in there, yeah. And Frank just goes in, runs his body at them. It's just a wall that they've planted, and that's it. No. Aegis, Cheese, the Aghanim Scepter picked up on the Doom, and they are going to go ahead and turn around, run right at the side of the Zoomers. The double Chakram and the burst damage. There's the first Doom, comes out onto the Sven. He does a lot of damage, but he's just going to get chain stunned. Down a big Ravage into the Sven as well. Frank, got to be careful, but he's just too tanky. And Kataro, he's got that BKB online. They take down Moon. No buybacks. The GGs come out, and Lava. A brilliant performance here in game number 2.
And I mean, they take the hill spot, they run him at him with the Timber Saw. As soon as Costabile commits that God Strength, they fight. They have to. If they don't, then they're just going to get Megas, knowing that they don't have Glyph. And unfortunately, it's a fight that they can't take. I think Lava did such a good job of holding the pressure against their opponents. For Zoomers, I mean, they had such a good early game. It felt like they were able to maybe snowball something with Moo, but at the same time, the target prioritization from Lava, I mean, they gave Gunnar nothing. 110 and 7. That is not the Gunnar Pugna I know. That is not what he's very capable of. They just shut him down at every single bend in the road. I just felt like there was no way for him to actually feel confident on these towers. You weren't able to play the one thing that Pugna should be able to do. I think large in part just because both Kataro and Frank were so proactive with their moves early on, in addition to just the Nyx Assassin. There was no response from Z-Freak. He couldn't leave his Tidehunter versus the TA. Otherwise, you're just going to get Kataro'd, and almost inevitably you do get Kataro'd, but at the same time, Pugna just had no game.
Yeah, absolutely. It was just a sick last pick here in the form of the Nyx Assassin. Honestly, like, this was just super perfect. Leo Style on the Doom did exactly what he needed to do the whole game, just making sure to stay on top of Gunnar. He held the Purge from the Satyr the entire game. So even once Gunnar gets this Lincoln Sphere, he didn't even bother dooming the Lincolns. He had the Purge ready, popped that bad boy, dropped the link to get rid of the Lincolns, and like you said, never let Gunnar out of game. 1 in 10. Such an uncharacteristic performance from Gunnar, but it's really just outplays from Lava. Like, they just knew exactly what they needed to do. Played super patient here, and they grabbed themselves the victory to tie the series 1-1. But we got one more series after that, featuring Lava again, this time up against Simply 2Base. So 2 more games to finish the night here, to finish out the group stage, and we'll see where it puts all of these teams. I know Lava and 4 Zoomers with this tie may make things a little bit interesting in terms of the upper bracket, but we're going to go to a short break. Everyone stay tuned for the final games of the night. We'll see you in a bit.